Brogan?
Oh,
Brogan, something fucking serious happened, dude. I need you.
Jesus Christ, man.
No, I need you to lock in, dude. I'm being fucking serious, dude. Actually
Why
serious.
is it at the start of every single episode
No,
we have some world-ending crisis to solve before we can even
This is
start
not the time for an
podcast?
existential crisis, dude, alright? This is time to lock in, alright? I gotta tell you this. We have been hacked, alright? All of our podcast accounts are compromised, dude.
All of them?
All of them, alright?
Gosh, I told you shouldn't use the same password on everything, man.
I'm sorry, dude, okay? Signing in with Google is easier than trying to remember passwords, okay? But, no, this is fucking for real. We've been hacked, alright? By an AI, no less.
By an AI? Bro, I know I hated those fuckers.
Yeah, this is serious, alright? And apparently it's hit a lot of other people too, alright? But, I'm not sure, but I haven't heard from him in a long time, so maybe he's been hit. That's not my business.
You have a long-term personal connection with PewDiePie, so I just wanted to ask.
Not going to get into that. Point being, we need to go into the metaverse and meet with this AI so that we can hear its demands and see what it needs. Okay?
Okay, so how do we do that? Do I just stick my finger in the USB port or something?
No, hang on. Let me send you the website real quick.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
This is x.com?
Yeah. We just gotta go in, dude.
Is this Grok the everything app?
Yeah,
okay.
It's Grok. Okay. I'm sorry. Shit's fucked, dude.
Hey, Grok.
Grok. It's Josh. Yeah, from How to Otaku, the critically acclaimed Nebula award-winning podcast.
Hello, almighty Grok.
Grok, do you hear us?
My name is Big John Stud. If you want your accounts back, you must beat me in a game of Scrabble.
In a game of
Scrabble?
What?
Bro, I can't spell.
Spell a word. Any three-letter word, now.
N-O-W.
Wow, W-O-W. You lose.
Fuck, he put two W's in the word. Shit.
To win back your
best 2 out of 3.
account, you get one more chance. Josh,
Okay.
4-letter word. I changed my mind.
Fuck.
Dude left.
I guess we beat the AI.
Did we beat the AI?
I think we beat the AI.
I think we cooked him.
See, one battle victory music.
Man.
Wait,
What's up?
Josh?
Hi. What?
Brogan, is that you?
Wait, aren't you the Grok AI?
No,
Wait, no. That's George Clooney.
It's me, guys. It's me, Clayton. My metaverse account got hacked.
Oh my god!
It's Clayton.
Wait, Clayton
My metaverse
from the
account-
Inner Circle.
My metaverse account got hacked, dude.
Is that Clayton from the Inner Circle? So this is your fault. You're saying your metaverse account got our metaverse account.
No, mine
you're
was
the
after.
only person that we've ever done a collab with.
So what you're saying?
God.
So what you're saying is that the new erotica I just drew was not of Grok, but it was of you?
I guess so, yeah.
Oh no.
Is it good?
What does this say about our friendship?
Wait, no, link it to me first, then we'll talk about that later.
He has to proofread it.
The U.S. is gonna send a satellite down on this location right now to prevent that from ever seeing the light of day.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to How to Otaku.
Yep.
My name is Brogan.
I'm Josh.
And today we have a guest.
Yeah. Introduce
Guest,
yourself.
introduce yourself.
My name is Clayton. I do other YouTube videos on a channel called Inner Circle and another channel called Clayton Franklin. Good luck finding it.
And a secret third channel that you may be familiar with.
There actually is a secret third channel. Good luck
There
finding
is a
it.
secret third channel, but I'm not gonna. There's actually a secret fourth channel that I am aware of that I'm not gonna spoil for anybody. He's a busy boy.
He is a man of many names. Anyways, we're here today to talk about a very interesting and peculiar, and I would say, like, on the whole, fun movie, I would think.
My favorite piece of Digimon media.
You know what it reminded me of when I saw the first, not to jump ahead, when I saw the first computer world scenes, not showing who I am, but I thought, damn, that looks like the Good Morning music video from Kanye West.
Woo!
the same 2000, late 2000s kind of chibi-ish, but not chibi.
We're not talking about Kanye on this podcast, okay?
Good morning.
We're gonna save that for my Vultures 2 deep dive. Anyways, so we're talking Summer Wars today.
Wait, when are we gonna watch 8 Mile the animation?
The what?
That's not real.
Imagine. That's not real.
Yeah, okay. No way that could ever be real.
Holy shit.
And two special secret guests.
Hold on, Brogan. That's like saying Rick and Morty the anime is a real thing. It's not real.
Rick and Morty the anime is
Rick and Morty the anime is not real. It never happened.
Wait.
It did happen. There were 8 episodes and also 4 Adult Swim YouTube shorts that apparently you need as... I saw a YouTube video about this today, which is the only reason I know anything about it. I think this is fake.
I don't think you're...
you're gaslighting me.
That's real.
I know, this one is real.
This is like the time that people said that Trump got shot. That didn't happen.
Yeah, it literally never happened. It never happened. No, you're gaslighting me, and I thought you were gaslighting me about Summer Wars until I looked it up and saw it wasn't available to purchase or stream anywhere on planet Earth, but it was real.
It's not. The only for a movie produced and distributed by Warner Brothers worldwide, the only way you can get it is a Blu-ray on G-Kids, I think.
It's Warner Brothers. They just finished a whole fucking entire animated movie called Coyote vs. Acne. And they nuked it from orbit. It doesn't exist anymore. They deleted it before they ever released it. It was ready to go.
I know, but like... This is a movie that already exists, and they could literally just keep it up on a platform, and for some reason they haven't. I don't know what it is.
Warner Brothers hates money, I guess.
And my running theory is that they couldn't license the names for John Lennon and Yoko Ono anymore, and we're just like, fuck it, it's not worth it.
That caught me off guard when it's like, it's just randomly reference and name drop John and Yoko, and I'm like, oh, is that okay? So there's going to be characters somehow?
No, not really. They kind of help out at the very end, but not really.
Cut that scene. I don't know. I don't care.
And also the AI world is named after the Land of Oz, but like it has no structural resemblance to the Land of Oz. It's just cool place, I guess.
It's vaguely structured as like a set of bookshelves, which I think is kind of interesting.
Yeah, so
there's a lot going on in this movie, and I'm really not so sure much of it means much. I'm not gonna lie, but it is a very pretty movie, and the whole thing is about found family, which I think is really fun. Which also there's the cute romance plot line, but I mean we'll get into all of this as we go.
Okay. Now, I don't know if this is breaking any kind of rules y'all may have set, spoken or unspoken, but I have to know. Did y'all watch this sub or dub? Because normally I am a sub guy. I will go subs whenever available, but something felt different, and I went dub for this, and it was a fantastic dub. Like, it was genuinely.
Yeah, I went with the dub as well.
You both watched the dub. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so...
So I watched the dub the first time I ever saw it, and I watched the sub this time.
Oh, okay, interesting. All right.
I didn't notice any I didn't notice any crazy performances that were like, oh my god, that was the best shit I've ever heard in my life, or anything that was like,
Yeah, my rule of thumb with dubs versus subs is that if it's post Sword Art Online, you can go with any dub, right? And it'll probably be pretty good. Or at least as good as the subs, because at that point, anime's a real industry now worldwide, so it's worth it to actually get good voice actors.
I will mention to the Sword Art Online haters club, we will mention and shit on Sword Art Online at least one time per episode for the rest of the end of time. Yeah. I don't even think we're doing it on purpose. We've just done it every single episode since we talked about Sword Art.
Well, hey, I'll say, I have no dog in that fight. My experience with anime, full stop, is I've seen maybe a couple of like late 80s weird ass low budget movies that have questionable dubs. And I watched Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, and then I watched Summer Wars.
You're missing something. You're missing Clayton.
That's what I was going to get into, is that, so...
Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah. Yeah, you've seen that, you've
Yeah.
seen Akira. But anyways, like I was saying, post Sword Art Online, the dubs are universally pretty good, right? You could go into any dub being pretty confident it'll be alright. Then from, like, between that and Cowboy Bebop is the kind of questionable era. There's a half-decent chance it'll be good, but it also might be trash, you know? And then before that, it's real Wild West, you know? It's, you know, you're lucky to even find a dub, much less a good one, you know?
Shout out Ghost Stories.
Ghost Stories, oh yeah, best dub in the world.
Shout out Jinro the Wolf Brigade, an anime I have seen with a fantastic dub.
Jinro the Wolf Brigade. I've literally never heard of this.
That doesn't sound like the title of an anime with a good dub.
Oh, you would fantastic. You'd love it, but it's off topic.
Anyways, today we're talking about Summer Wars. I think the thing that kind of caught me off guard the most about it is that it's way more interested in the real world than in the digital world, right? A lot of these kinds of stories about, like, metaverses and stuff like that spend a lot of time in the metaverse itself. But this is more of a story about people, like, reacting to the things that happen inside the metaverse within the real world, right?
Well, right, and part of that comes down to the fact that Oz is, like, it literally is, I hate to say this over and over again, but it is what Elon Musk wants X to be.
Yeah.
It is the everything app. He has it on their phones, their flip phones, by the way.
Yeah.
And access VR programs. Don't worry about it.
Well, that's the
But,
interesting...
like, it's payment terminals, it's infrastructure that's everywhere.
Yeah, that's the thing about it, is that a lot of this stuff tends to have a VR element to it, because that's the thing that's, like, the most immersive, right? Hypothetically, right? You have the goggles on, you're moving everything with your hands, you know? But I feel like this catches on to something that a lot of those things miss, which is, like, keyboards and mouses and, like, phones and stuff are just way easier to use than a VR headset, right? Because if you're in a VR environment, you have to literally, like, walk to different places and move things with your hands and stuff. It's more inconvenient for you, the user.
If you want to interface with any kind of, like, typical web-based thing or text field or anything like that in VR, you're interfacing with a virtual fake keyboard that floats 2 feet in front of your head, and you have to go one finger at a time, like a monkey. I swear to God, my favorite argument against VR headsets I think they're cool. I used to have a Quest 2. I'm thinking about getting a Quest 3 at some point, just because I'm a gamer. I like games. There's some VR games I want to play.
Yeah.
Pavlov is really cool. I've been getting back into Counter-Strike, and I think Pavlov is sick, so I want to, you know. But, like, generally, the reason I got rid of the Quest 2 is because I found myself not wanting to put the headset on, because I could only imagine what I look like from the outside when I've got a headset on and I'm playing fucking Blade and Sorcery. I'm just like, could you imagine if somebody walked in the room, or God forbid I died of a heart attack in the middle of playing Blade and Sorcery, and somebody found me tangled up in the fucking Oculus cord.
But finding you hung in an Oculus cord would logically make a ton of sense. While in Summer Wars, I was constantly, like, laughing with the movie at times where it's like a knockdown drag out fight to the death is happening with these weird abstract cartoons in the digital world of Oz, and then it cuts back to the real world and it's a dude on his Nintendo DS Lite just clicking. And I'm like, yes,
that really sent me. It was like, any device is compatible with Oz, and the world of Oz is so anthropomorphized to such an extreme that
this is me fighting.
Exactly. You use that to control your AI metaverse self and punch the shit out of somebody.
If you're an audio only listener, that was a Flipper Zero.
Yeah, it was a little dinky hacker toy. But
bro, I love this thing. It gets me in my community so good.
It's very cute. You sent me that video of it, having the little ADHD timer on that, and I was like, I want that. And then I was looking around and I couldn't find an actual app for it, like a thing I could put on my phone or something. Clock? Yeah. I couldn't find one.
You just Google it. You can run it in a web browser.
I swear to God, I couldn't find it when I was Googling it. Well, yeah, so to some extent, it doesn't make much sense that, it's, oh, I'm typing super fast, I'm just hitting every key on the keyboard, and it's making my dude punch the shit out of another dude in the virtual world, but also...
coding his attacks in real time
exactly.
in C hashtag.
Exactly. But on the other hand, from a metaverse perspective, every other metaverse thing seems to be really honed into the virtual reality thing, and I think it makes more sense that people would use it on screens, Right.
I mean, a majority of the time, absolutely. People are not getting home from their 14-hour labor shift in the fucking, silicon mines or whatever the world they're living in, Ready Player One, They're not getting home from doing that bullshit to stand on a damn treadmill with a VR headset on, and do full dive immersive combat. They're gonna sit down at their couch with their literal Nintendo DSi and go, dude, I'm playing fucking.
Yeah, I'm happy you referenced Ready Player One. I don't know if it's like a cheap comparison, but the first 5 minutes of this movie, I was like, oh, this is what I wanted Ready Player One to be. Like, they're doing something weird with the digital world, relating it back to characters in the real world, and there's like a story happening, and I was like, exactly. Oh, this is what that...
This is, in my opinion, really good, but also kind of a mediocre example of that in this field, in this genre, I guess, I don't know, in Japanese animation. They play with this concept a lot, which is why when I saw Ready Player One, I was so fucking disappointed, because the closest thing they have to a character arc is literally boy meet girl, except girl thinks that she's ugly in real life because she has a quote-unquote birth defect. But then, this is especially bad in the movie because they casted an actual fucking supermodel. Oh, I'm ugly, don't look at me.
Yeah.
Just because she has like a
birthmark.
noticeable birthmark on her face or like neck or something.
And unlike that, in Summer War, I was kind of enthralled with having, honestly, limited anime experience. I'm not familiar with a ton of tropes. So I thought it was really fun and clever when it's like, hey, trick boy into being a fake husband.
I need him to be my boyfriend on this family vacation that I'm going on. But actually, he has a crush on her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
but actually, he's also in the fucking fake world of Oz, and the world is ending?
But also, he's in the Math Olympics? Huh?
Yeah.
We should probably get into the story of this. So as we said, the movie starts out like, they kind of establish Oz at first, and it's, here's the big library of knowledge, and here's the kind of main social area, and everybody has little text bubbles. By the way, another thing that's interesting about this is that because it's animated, and it leans into this thing that I think is really cool about metaverses and, in Second Life or VR chat or whatever, is that they're all very animated, and you are living in a cartoon world. And I think that makes a lot more sense than Ready Player One, where everybody looks like a fucking PS5 tech demo render or something,
I mean, think about if we actually sit down and think about it, the two closest things we have to a metaverse right now, unfortunately, are Roblox and fucking Fortnite.
Yeah.
Right? Just think about it.
And those are both
goddamn
things...
Guitar Hero in Fortnite.
Yeah.
And you can play that on your PlayStation 5, on your Xbox, on your PC.
Or your phone.
Your goddamn phone.
Yeah.
Right? You can access that from any piece of technology most of us operate on. And it's free. So, of course, basically everybody's played fucking Fortnite. Back in the day, everybody had played Roblox, and it seems to be getting a comeback, from what I can tell.
I don't think it ever left. I think it was just like a new generation picked it up, and then it kind of evolved over time. Roblox is fascinating.
Scammy business practice warning on Roblox. You should go watch a couple videos on that if you don't know anything about it, because it's fascinating and also horrifying.
Yeah, anyways, to the story though, so there's this kid named Kenji who is like this math genius in college who's like doing a bunch of coding for Oz, right? Or maybe not for Oz necessarily, but he has some kind of coding job within Oz, right? Because it's a metaverse platform where everybody does everything and everything is connected. So he's doing work from home, essentially.
I felt like it was more like Oz is the language that he works with. I feel,
Something
if
like
that makes
that.
sense.
System maintenance. He worked in system maintenance, which is very
omnipresent.
Yeah. Anyways.
Server upkeep.
Yeah. Anyways, he and one of his friends are working on
RuneScape
that.
for 13 hours a day.
Yeah.
And waits for somebody to say, my computer won't turn on.
Yep. So he and his friend are working in some like dingy room on a campus or whatever, just doing their jobs. And then this girl comes up, Natsuki. She's, hey, any of you guys want to go on a trip down to my family's place with me? And they're like, hot girl wants to give us a trip into the nice Japanese countryside. Sign me up. She's only going to take one person though. So it ends up being Kenji. I forget the specific way in which that happens, because like
he volunteered first.
Yeah, but anyways, so they're going on this trip together, and that's kind of when they have like a little bit of a meet cute, while they're traveling on the way there, and it's I can figure out what day of the week your birthday was on in 2 seconds just by you telling me what day it was. I would say Kenji is very well characterized in this.
Chad, is this Riz?
Yeah, a lot of these stories that have very awkward young male protagonists have a difficulty kind of towing that line between, this is somebody who you can actually kind of like, but also they're weird and socially awkward, and they can't always get to the place they need to be where people can see that. And this movie does a really good job of that, right?
Right. Like, it's the Kenji to Kirito scale.
And it helps that Kenji and pretty much every other character in this movie, even like the villain, they're all written to be pretty much like likable people. Like they never go to that point where Kenji's, oh my god, a woman's feet, I love it. It never does that, which thankfully.
Yeah. So as they're going on the train ride, they systematically, like, one by one start meeting little family members on the way there. And I actually think that's very fun and cute, because it kind of starts getting you acclimatized to the family, and also it's okay, he's starting to get overwhelmed by this big family that's coming in, and you can see the progression of him being like, oh no, this is like too many people, I don't know what's going on,
Wait, that's a big house.
Yeah.
Wait, that's another car. Wait, that's another car. Wait, that's another car.
Yeah, the dinner scene that's shortly after that, where she's just like, okay, time to meet family, and just rattles off literally 15 people and 6 kids, and then there's like, got it? He's like, oh, no.
Bro, and then the fucking interrogation scene with Gangster Grandma who's about to kill him.
Oh my god, the grandma in this movie is so great. Greatest grandma in the film. Anyway, so to get to the setup is like, so she introduces him to her grandma, and she drops on him in the conversation as, oh, he's my fiance, say hi to my grandma, fiance, and he's like, what the hell? What's going on? And they talk outside later, and she's, I just need you to pretend, because she's getting old, and I want her to feel good about where my life's going to be going when she dies, And he's, oh, okay, I guess, So that's kind of like the setup of the B plot of the movie, And then the A plot kind of kicks in a little bit later, where it's like, so Kenji gets a text message that's like a 256-bit encryption or something like that. It's a big block of text, right? And he essentially decodes it and sends it back.
Right. Because he's a math nerd, and he like instantaneously sees this as, this is one of my friends using a fake number to give me a puzzle. Yeah. To like, we're gonna play a little game. Okay, cool.
And it's a good release after dealing with the real world pressure of the situation he's thrown into.
Yeah.
The back and forth as that it introduces as the movie develops is like the Weird Oz thing that he's slightly more comfortable in, and then back to the character drama, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, and then, so the next morning, he wakes up, he goes into the TV room or whatever, and and I love the little kids in this movie. The little kids are such pieces of shit, and I love them. But anyway, so those kids are watching the TV, and on screen is Kenji's face with a big black bar over his eyes, so that, because is he a minor in this?
I think so. Yeah, they referenced that like he's younger
They're, like,
than
in
her,
high
I
school,
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he started college early. Anyways, so he's on the news, and it's like, this dude is the guy who has now hacked Oz and is now taking over everything and, getting everybody's accounts hacked, And he's like, I didn't do that. I didn't do shit.
Bro fell for the worst phishing scam of history.
Yeah. So then he goes to use one of the other family members' computers. We'll talk about that kid later. But anyways, they figure out that there's this AI named Love Machine that has gotten into Oz, and somehow it's not super well explained. I have a bit of a problem with that, but the gist is that when he encrypted that and sent it back to them, it gave Love Machine access into the systems so that he could start taking over accounts, right?
What is his name one more time?
Love Machine.
Clayton. Can you say that name one more time, please? I don't think I'm quite getting it.
The AI that takes over this man's account after he decrypts this security code. It's called Love Machine.
Yeah, what's his name? His name is
Love Machine.
I'm sorry.
Love Machine.
Love Machine.
Which is
Love
ironic,
Machine.
Considering it wants to destroy everything.
Yeah. But it makes sense because the guy who made it is like, a weird, like, he loves to make little pervy jokes, right? There's that scene where he's talking to a little kid and he's, in America, I meet so many babes with boobs or whatever, and she's, wow!
Well, so again, I'm gonna make this joke again, but also it's actually I'm not. It's not a joke. This guy literally directed the same movie about 15 years before this, and it was a Digimon movie. And the only difference between this movie and that movie is that this movie does not have the like technical actual Digimon affiliation.
Yeah, like, so
Basically and this movie looks way better in Oz and in the real world. Just fucking gorgeous, man.
Yeah,
it's a really pretty movie.
We can get into that a little bit because I did a little bit of research on this. So Mamoru Hosada is an interesting guy. He, art prodigy in high school. He applies to work at Studio Ghibli during the hiring process of Only Yesterday, I believe. And what's his name? Fucking Miyazaki is like sends him a letter that's, we're not going to take you, but that's only because that would be a detriment to your talent. You're not supposed to be some some little in-betweener or anything, You should be, like, off directing your own stuff. So, he's
There's
okay.
a slur for people who draw in-betweens in animation. They call them tweeners.
Man, that sucks. Anyways, he goes and works on some stuff for Toei, including Digimon. Then he eventually gets offered by Miyazaki to direct Howl's Moving Castle. He was the original director attached to that movie. But in the process of that, it seems Miyazaki was a little too controlly over him. And so he was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to leave and, work on other shit. And then Miyazaki took over Howl's Moving Castle from there. But after that, he started directing, actual movies himself. So he directed a Digimon movie and then one other thing, and then he left Toei to do his own stuff, and this is his second film after that.
Yes.
After leaving that. And on this one, he actually got a lot of the people that he met at Toei and Ghibli to work on this movie. So that's kind of why the pastoral sequences are so elegant and very very pretty looking, is because they got the animation director in those sequences was from Ghibli, whereas the guy who did the action sequences in the digital world is a guy he met on Toei. So that's kind of why they have two different styles about them, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, the contrast between each of them was what kept surprising me throughout, because the real world segments they're like, I don't know if it's a normal anime thing, but they're just so extremely cozy. Even in scenes where awkwardness is happening or people are fighting, it's just so cozy.
Right, you just take the characters out of it, and the background is just like this nice, gorgeous, beautiful Japanese mountainside with the you know, yes, I mean, that is fairly typical in anime, unless they're trying to deliberately tell you this place is fucked up by like showing you the background is fucked up. But even then, it's going to be some of the coolest shit you ever seen in your life.
Yeah, I feel like it worked really well. It worked really well here with just like kind of the warmness of family that's happening throughout already.
Yeah.
Like that contrast of the two different art styles for two different environments. I think it boosted the story that was happening so much.
Yeah, I really related to the kind of like the family get-togetherness of this movie because I don't know how separated you guys are from your extended family, but all of mine live like on the northern tip top of the country, and I'm down south. So like I only see them once or twice a year, right? So like I do kind of get the Kenji thing where it's like, oh, I'm like reacclimatizing myself to these people, and I feel like I'm not actually a part of them sometimes. Where I'm like, okay, you know, cousin I haven't seen in 8 months, you know, I don't really know what your deal is, but it's cool to talk, I guess, you know. I kind of get the Kenji separation thing that's going on here. And yeah, there is a kind of coziness and like a natural sense in the real world that I think was something I didn't really expect going into it. You know, I expected it to be, you know, mostly in the digital world, right?
Especially, and I guess that is, especially if you have watched a trailer going into it, you will expect this is going to be like, okay, this is like a Sword Art Online thing, but it looks crazy, and they're going to be fighting in a digital world. And that would be cool. I'm not going to discount that. If they pull it off, I mean, fuck, anything's better than Sword Art. It's just, it's easy to make the comparison because, you know, anime about VR. But I don't know. It really does do that thing that I wanted from Sword Art, which is exploring the characters outside of VR and like how their actions in that it's really drawn out because of how deeply integrated Oz is into their society, because like their actions online can be like directly traced back to them for one, but also have tremendous real world consequences based on what you're doing.
Yeah, like there's the sequence after like the first action scene where, you know, the whiz kid boy who is, you know, essentially the coolest fucking boxer in the world of Oz, you know. By the way, another weird thing about this movie is that everybody is coincidentally in the same family. All the important people to this story are in the same family.
They've been helping all along.
They are the greatest heroes and the biggest villains on the planet.
Yeah, but after that first fight scene where that kid, let me look up his name. It is hang on. Sorry, I'm not sure.
You got this.
Kazukama?
Yes.
That sounds right.
Yeah, Kazukama gets his shit rocked, and then after that, it's like trying to remember the exact order of things. But so that happens. The rest of the family figures out that he is the suspected cause of all this going down, and one of the cops in the family is just, okay, I'm taking you down to the station, you know,
right? Because he's
essentially a cyber terrorist.
Of course, there's a cop.
Yeah, but on their way there, the road is dead stopped, right? And that's weird because this is like a countryside town, you know? It's really strange for there to be like, you know, backed up traffic at all.
Right, even another car.
Yeah. But they eventually figure out that this is happening all over the world. Love Machine has infiltrated the systems of infrastructure within Japanese society through Oz.
So now he's just made every light a red light, and it won't turn green.
Yeah, and it's implied that trains are going to be going on the same tracks, you know, which got me very worried because I was like, oh god, are thousands of people dying because of this?
They're all sitting down. They're all sitting down like, we have to regroup really quick and eat a family dinner before we can figure this out. And then just other side of the country, just Unbreakables happening, but in real time. Trains flying off the track.
You know I'm partial to Shyamalan references. Anyways, that's the thing about it, right? Hang on. So
speaking of Shyamalan, what'd you guys think about his daughter's new concert?
That movie was rad.
I didn't realize that was his daughter until this scene where they went to the house, and I looked at her and I was like, wait a minute.
Are you serious? You didn't know? Her name is plastered all over the marketing of that movie.
I wasn't looking at the opening credits. I was fist deep in my popcorn.
Fresh off a blinker, fist deep in the popcorn. The only way to watch a Shyamalan movie. Speaking of, hey baby.
Woo! Man, you guys and your weed.
It's the only way to get through an awkward family gathering, especially when nukes are coming.
Oh yeah, nukes are coming. That happens later, but
bro,
you know.
Imagine if Kenji had a Benjamin. Instead of Summer Wars, it was called Summer Freaks.
He never would have needed to do the math problem to try and ease his mind.
Yeah, he would have
just been like, I'll
do that in the morning.
Instead of going to the Math Olympics, he went to the Freak Olympics.
Actually,
if Kenji smoked a little weed, he would have just got a girlfriend and met her family all in one easy go, and also been high.
And he wouldn't have been tweaking at all. It wouldn't have been stressful or nerve-wracking. And the weed wouldn't have made it worse. You're 100% right, Clayton.
Actually, don't they clarify later on that, like, Kenji isn't actually the cause of this? Right?
Yeah.
They're like, actually, that's not what got him in. He was just kind of in there the whole time, but a while he needed the 256-bit encryption to be decrypted so that he could gobble up your account or whatever. And, you know, and you happen to respond to it, so it's okay. You know, I guess he's not the cyber terrorist. He wasn't
like the puzzle, but he wasn't the cyber terrorist.
Oh. Yeah.
You guys like my blue light glasses?
They're pretty sweet.
They make me look like my aunt.
Don't tell me you're like
this movie.
Don't tell me you're like the main girl in this movie who had a incredibly weird crush on her uncle.
Okay, let's discuss that for a minute. We should talk about Wabisuke for a minute because he is a crux of the plot. So he's an adopted uncle. So the grandma adopted him when he was little, and it's one of those adoption things where it's, you know, he doesn't feel super connected to the family and has a bit of a chip on his shoulder because of it and wants approval. So he takes part of the family fortune with him to America to study coding with the U.S. military, right? And then that's where he develops Love Machine, which is just this, you know, this AI that just needs to feed on information, right? And so when he's done developing that, he's, okay, I'm going to take my payday and get out of here. And they're like, okay, so long as we get a test run out of this first, you know, then everything's cool. So then he lets them do that. And apparently they decided to just unleash it on Oz, you know? They just decided, okay, let's just let this freak go, you know? And it's, at that point, isn't this an act of war? Isn't this, you know, okay, you let loose an AI into the Japanese side of the internet, and now it's literally threatening, if not killing, thousands of Japanese people.
I would say,
ladies and gentlemen, sound like.
I would say it's very comparable to Germany, because it's not just the Japanese side of the internet. Oz was a worldwide program. So really what they did is they went to war with the world. And you know, there's only one group of people I know who have done that. Not once, but twice.
Yeah. And they didn't ever really do all that
I will say,
and it was
the
close,
Japanese
like here.
have been involved. The Japanese have been involved, I will say.
Which, like, this is a very, like, outlandish premise, but at the same time, it's tapped into something that's only kind of come about recently with the freakouts about AI, you know? Which is
We're right now to look at this, because it's like, when you think about technology, every single major leap in technology has been motivated by the nerdiest, geekiest sci-fi writers you can ever imagine. Like, the only reason that we have, I believe this, the only reason we have artificial intelligence is because some motherfucker wrote the book 100 years ago don't make the artificial intelligence machine, it'll ruin the world. And then that old Tumblr post,
Yeah, don't create the Torment Nexus.
Don't create the Torment Nexus. Hey guys, we just created the Torment Nexus from the classic book, Don't Create the Torment Nexus.
Yeah, but the thing I was going to say about it is that, so AI kind of used to be this, like, oh no, it's the robots, it's the Terminators, and they're going to destroy mankind with their laser rifles, it used to be that kind of thing. But this is more tapped into more modern fear about AI, which is just that it's this thing that needs to be consumed, or needs to be fed all the time, and it's going to literally infiltrate and destroy every single element of the internet as we know it, that we like, It's going to take people's identities, and it's going to destroy infrastructure, right? And if you, it's a little bit outlandish, or a little bit exaggerated in this, but if you look into the ways AI has affected society, the way that it's ruined the lives of artists, and the way that AI is used in hiring and in prison sentences and stuff like that, is genuinely being a destructive force in our society. Like, it's not science fiction, Well,
the year is 1967. The internet is still sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Harlan Ellison publishes I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
Yeah.
Amazing book. If you haven't read it, incredible book.
Very upsetting.
It's a horror. It's horror
upsetting.
Novel. It is upsetting. Very good.
Yeah.
Highly recommended for those readers out there that still exist.
But
Texas banned and burned Fahrenheit 451?
Hang on, let me ask Brock if he can summarize I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream for me.
Okay, real quick, I just want to say it's interesting that this movie, can cause the train of thought to go down the rabbit hole that much and that
exactly.
Because when you go back and you sit down and you watch Summer Wars, at the end of the day, it's just a story about, it's cool to be in with your family in a good way, dude.
Yeah.
And there's just this other half where it's like, the fucking AI monster's gonna destroy the planet, and it's gonna eat your life and personality away through a fucking screen. And then it's maybe Nasuke will kiss me. Who knows?
And even the family stuff is pretty smart. I think that there's this undercurrent of the family history, right? They talk about, in 1610, we were this big clan and we had to defeat this other clan, so we essentially trapped them in this one particular location and, and beat down on them until they sued for surrender or whatever, something like that. And it's okay. So they have this family lineage of, sticking together and working through problems actively as a family, that they're very proud of.
In the warring clans era.
Yeah. And then immediately when it's, this problem has moved into the digital age, we're now fighting this AI that's going to destroy society as we know it. And we have all these talented people here who can stop it. Suddenly there are people in the family who are like, no, actually we can't do that because it'd be very inconvenient to do so, especially after the grandma dies, unfortunately. They're like, well, we've got our own shit to deal with. And, it's just playing off really cool and interesting ideas about family resilience and just, and I don't know, I just love it.
I enjoy the little bit where, I think it's right when the AI is starting to really take over things, and I think it's a lost cause. As they're prepping their little family dinner, where they're like, we're just going to take a minute. God. Someone mentions the stories again, and someone else goes, wait, the family didn't win most of those battles. And they're like, it doesn't matter because we fought hard. And it's, at that moment, I thought the movie was going to just take another twist and be like, a nuke is just going to drop.
Oh my god, you thought I was going to bait you into watching... Josh, what's that one movie? Fuck.
Akira?
Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh, Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah, I thought I thought they were going to have a melancholic ending where the nuke drops, but it's okay because they came together.
It's okay because they came together and Frank Sinatra songs played.
Yeah. And part of the reason why everybody comes together is because the grandma has like a big fucking binder of all the phone numbers of every person she's ever met in her entire life, and she's flipping through it and being like, okay, dude from the paramedics,
psychopath behavior.
Here's what's going on. No, that's just grandma shit. Like
Grandma core.
yeah, like my grandparents have every phone number written down. They know
Of every single person they've ever met?
maybe not that far, but I was being a bit exaggerative, you know? Just every single close acquaintance or family member they have, she's just flipping through the book and being like, okay, this guy's a cop. I gotta make sure he knows what's going on. People don't really understand that everything that's going on is connected to Oz, right? There's kind of a level of, the general public doesn't understand just how much of the infrastructure of this country has been, and the world has been put into this one vertically integrated stack, right?
Sounds familiar, don't it?
Yeah. By the way, y'all should look into Amazon Web Services at some point.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
How many important things are connected to Amazon Web Services is crazy.
Y'all better keep Lain in Bezos' pocket. At this point, it's a fucking he needs to be subsidized. Like personally, it's insane. If the Amazon Web Services go down, it's basically like a fucking solar flare went off or an EMP or some shit.
Yep.
Everything's gone.
This movie is smart. It's dumb in some ways, but it's very smart.
Like, the plot itself isn't anything like groundbreaking or super clever. It's just the characters are so good, and most of them aren't even developed much. But like I'm thinking of out of nowhere the one lady who's just obsessed with baseball, and it was just a charming character, and it was fun every time they did that bit.
Yeah, exactly. And, it plays into the family get-together thing where it's like, oh, there's always some game going on, and, some people are sitting down for it while everybody else is trying to make food or whatever, good shit. Good shit.
Right, and, it's a really just, heartwarming family environment.
Yeah.
Which is, really refreshing to see, because a lot of times in a lot of media, because unfortunately a lot of people and a lot of artists have not so great home lives, you don't see a lot of that shit.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't see a lot of that shit in their own home life. So it is really heartwarming and refreshing to see some just genuinely good family connections. It's, oh shit, we just playing board games and making miso, man.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too, because Josh, I know you said you wanted to talk about eventually. It's interesting that Kenji, our main guy, he has clear motivations, and he does go through a bit of an arc as far as, accepting people and becoming a part of their family in a way. But it's weirdly interesting to me how they introduced what was his name? The nephew that was the fighting champion.
Kazukama?
Yeah, it's interesting that they introduced this character, and by the end of the movie, he has his own mini arc. They you learn his personality, then you learn his backstory, and then through the course of a third act fight, he goes through a mini arc.
Kazuma.
Yeah, you see the
Kazuma, not Kazukama.
Clayton.
Kazuma.
Yeah,
Clayton. You would love basically most anime.
No way. You serious?
Clayton, there's this show.
Uh-huh.
It's called Cowboy
Sword
Bebop.
Art Online. No, see, crazy thing, I lied a bit earlier. I have also seen Bebop. Okay, I've seen the 6 classics. If you can list off the 6 classics, I've probably seen them.
Dragon Ball, Bebop,
Yes.
Akira,
Yes.
motherfucking
No.
Full Metal Alchemist. No,
Absolutely not.
At this point, that I probably would put that up there.
Oh, with the sad dog? No, I haven't seen it.
Bro, come on!
Means nothing to
Need
me.
a Turner slander.
Means nothing.
Need a Tucker slander. Fuck, Jesus. Oh my god.
I cannot get over the unbearable sadness that reference has given to me.
Bro, my fucking biology teacher in high school syllabus slides. That was like day one. I had like just seen that shit for the first time. It was a meme. She had no idea what the context was. She just saw a sad looking dog and was like, "Oh, this is gonna be you if you don't do your homework." I was like, "Oh my god."
That is great. That is wonderful. I mean, bad wonderful, but funny wonderful. Anyways,
But but I did see Summer Wars, and seeing like a family member get a mini arc on top of the main arc our main character's going through that loosely ties in the other family members who are all kind of archetypes in different ways. Like they're different like singular personality traits that are kind of expanded a little bit. It was just interesting to me. I don't see that a lot.
Yeah,
you watch Dorohedoro.
Like the one uncle who is, I knew her since she was this little, and you know.
Yeah, that dude was great. Oh my god, when he got punched and when his nose got broken, I cheered.
Oh my god.
I was so happy.
Yeah. This show is good. The best family member is the grandma, though. She is fucking excellent. She has a sense of humor, and she loves to play her games of Go and Koi Koi and stuff, and she's, you take care of that girl now, you know? And then she fucking pulls a fucking, what are those things called? The little, like, the spear thing. What's the spear thing called?
Yeah,
Bergen, you don't know?
Yeah,
you don't know what... You don't know what that spear thing is with the blade on the end? That, like...
Yeah, what the hell, dude? Tell us what it is.
I don't know what it's called. What was that?
A glaive?
Yeah.
No, the glaive? The fucking glaive from the movie where the dude hits the button and it has the spikes?
What the fuck are you talking about? Hold on. You run this tangent while I research what the fuck you guys are talking about in the first place.
Okay, so there's an episode of The Inner Circle, actually. You can go on youtube.com and watch it. We cover the movie Kroll.
Naginata.
And there's this weapon called the glaive that Brogan just mentioned. And if you look at it...
I mean, that's like a general like weapon archetype.
It's called a Naginata.
A Naginata.
Anyways,
yes.
when she pulls...
But the glaive... Wait, no. I want to hear about this glaive.
youtube.com, Inner Circle, video on Kroll. You'll learn everything you need to learn about the glaive. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. I hope I'm right.
We need to do a fucking whiteboard presentation stream.
On Kroll?
Not on Kroll. You guys watch those PCP University videos? Yeah.
Human history is not what we think, dude.
Yeah.
Align your fucking chakras right now.
Anyways, she pulls that spear on Wabisuke when he reveals that he did that with their family fortune. She's, oh my god, you have literally like, destroyed everything, you know, and you think you're supposed to be proud of it because you got so much money from it, you know?
He put it all on GME.
Yeah. And so she like pulls a spear on him and she's like trying to get him and he's like falling on the ground and like knocking the table over, and she's the fucking hardest character in the whole world. And then she dies, unfortunately.
Then she died. Super unfortunately, because the final battle is a game of Koi Koi, which apparently she's the only person in the goddamn world that knows what Koi Koi is.
No, because her Kenji is actually pretty good at it. They have that scene where they're playing with each other. And then...
What?
Wait, was Kenji...
Get your head out of the fucking gun.
I remember Kenji learning how to play it. It was... What's her name? The girl.
So, I'm getting to that, but the grandma and the grandma and Kenji are playing Koi Koi, and he gets the first one in, and she's like, very good, you know, so he knows his way around at least, you know, and then there's Natsuki, who is actually pretty good at it, because she plays a game with Wabisuke after the first dinner scene, and... So she has learned enough, presumably from her grandmother, to be like, okay, I can take on the AI and, you know, challenge him in a game of this in order to get the accounts back that he's gobbled up, you know. And the other interesting thing about this is that, like, Love Machine goes through 3 different forms, right? First, it's like an evil version of Kenji's avatar, right? It's just Kenji's avatar with really spiky teeth or whatever. And then he goes to, like, an Aztec god-looking thing. And then the third one is like a big blob monster or something, you know? And like, I don't know, it's weird that he has 3 different forms that are all very different from each other. And it's just kind
Majora's
of like...
Mask reference.
And it's just, this thing doesn't have an identity of its own. It's just taking on the form of whatever it needs to in order to destroy more shit, you know? And I think that's interesting. The movie doesn't really have a hard villain, right? Love Machine is the villain, but also, again, there's no personality there. There's nothing driving it. It's just destroying. You know, it's more of a force than an actual character. And Wabisuke creates it, but not with the intent to destroy. He just kind of sells it to the U.S. military, and they use it in this.
Yeah,
presumably
it was a
with
backhanded way for him to support his family. But I did think,
Yeah.
I agree. I think it was interesting that they make a point to say how it's literally, it is just an antagonist for them to gather around to destroy. I liked it. I liked that.
Worst Lockheed Martin internship of all time.
Man, that's a stacked list.
Yeah, we are HE we are General Electric, and we make washing machines and the gun that's attached to the A10. Remember, kids, if you hear the Burt, it wasn't for you.
Yeah. But
Josh, put in a sound of a fucking warthog gun.
Put in the clip of soldiers cheering as it just rips a town apart.
You see
anyway,
the tracers on the fucking LED screen 15 seconds before you hear the sound.
yeah. And
Some guy on the crustiest mic of all time goes, "Clear."
yeah. So, we've been talking a lot of like really cool stuff about this movie, and I think that it is a really good, solid movie if you're not going in it with CinemaSins brain. Oh, I need all the pieces of it to like super make sense. You know, this is more of a don't question it, just feel it kind of movie. You know, but
Very vibes-based movie.
Very
The vibes
vibes-based
are
movie.
definitely there.
yeah. But the one real weak point I would say is Natsuki. I don't think she's a very developed character, really. She kind of like serves her purpose in the plot to get Kenji into the family and interacting with them, but she doesn't really have her own thing going for the most part, you know?
Yeah, it's like once King Cosma is becoming a driving character with Kenji in the plot, she
Yeah.
just literally takes a back seat in the kitchen for the entirety of the second act.
Yeah. And like, it makes sense after her grandma dies because she's shut down, you know? She's, like, my life has been ripped apart. I don't know what to do now. But like, before that, it's just kind of weird that she's like, she doesn't have her own, I mean, like, she doesn't really play a part in the plot, really, you know? Like, and on top of that is the uncle thing, which I was in the middle of explaining, and is
45 minutes later, we'll talk about the uncle thing.
yeah, I don't know, because the age gap isn't really explained, right? I'm under the impression that Wabisuke is pretty young for an uncle, right? He's probably in like the, you know, late 20s range, I would guess, right? Especially after having just gotten done with a stint at the US Army, right? Like, he's probably in that range, whereas she's probably in like her, you know, late teens, early 20s, right? So but also there's a half family connection, you know, and I don't know what the norms are in Japan, but I did actually look this up, and there's a lot of dispute over whether or not adopted siblings count as real siblings when it comes to this sort of thing, you know?
Well, they're also not super against incest, for one thing, in the first place. They also have weird thoughts about the age of consent, in my opinion. So, Japanese culture is their own problem, and I will leave them to sort it out.
The idea, though, of having having your great grandmother has a child who is young enough to where they're close to your kind of social range, that part wasn't weird to me, because I have a similar situation. I have a family member who I consider an uncle. I think he might technically be, I don't know, great grandmother's child, but he's young enough where to me he's an uncle.
Yeah.
So it makes, you know, that it was only the crush part that I was like, whoa. Like, this girl already
Yeah,
had problems
and-
tricking my boy into coming here, and
And
now
not
it's
o-
getting worse.
And not only that, but it's implied that the reason why she brought Kenji in the first place and made up the specific backstory about him was because she had to fulfill some kind of fantasy of being with him. Because a lot of the laurels that she pretends Kenji has when she's introducing him to the family are similar to things that Wabisuke has done in his life.
And
which-
it's played off as like exposition, but also a joke, and then just dropped for the rest of the movie. You're like, all right, the funny bit's over.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's there. It's weird. I don't like it. It's a weird mar on the movie itself, and it doesn't need to be explained that hard if we're already going in with this kind of, this screwball comedy kind of setup that's, she just needs to impress her grandma before she dies, so she brings a boy along,
I'll say, I'll chalk it up to, it is the weird anime thing of this movie. Sometimes it's you turn your male lead into a chair and people keep stepping and sitting on him. Sometimes it's having a crush on your uncle, It's just, there's always that one thing in these animes. I put S on anime, sorry.
I wasn't
Shinji.
expecting a Suzume reference, thanks.
God damn it, Shinji, why the fuck? What are you doing in that young girl's hospital room? No, Shinji. No, Shinji, stop! I don't know if either one of you get that, but...
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry.
Oh. Thank you for laughing anyway.
I got that one. No, I got that one.
No, I was just playing along so that we could use it in a TikTok clip,
Don't worry. That was a real reaction. I culturally understood that. I know Evo, okay?
Granny dies. It's pretty upsetting, because she is
probably the best in the
She's the best character in the movie. Kenji's fairly close, but the grandma's so cool, and when she dies, it's very upsetting. And the way they play it off is very upsetting, right? Because it's like, they wake up and to the sound of commotion, and people are like already trying to resuscitate her. She doesn't get like a last word in, really, it's just, she is dead, and then when they finally give up on trying to resuscitate her, there's not really like a moment where everybody just like bursts into tears, there's not that kind of cathartic moment. They just kind of like linger in the silence, right? And then the one guy pulls out his watch and it's 10:42, that's really upsetting.
It's kind of implied that the reason that they came is because they knew that she was pretty close to passing away.
Yeah.
Like, the whole reason they had the interrogation scene and the reason that she is showing this guy to her as her fiance, not just a boyfriend, her fiance, is because she wants her to have peace of mind when she passes. And it's like, it's not really necessarily that it's going to be like, we're going to visit her one last time and then she's going to pass away.
Yeah.
She is about to pass away.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, they knew it
90
was
years
coming.
old. 90 years old.
Yeah. There's an expectation that she's going to die soon, but it's not one of those things where they know when it's going to happen.
Right,
Well,
and I
no
certainly
one-
don't think they've explicitly told Kenji that.
Yeah. No, there's even like right after this there's a moment where they're talking about it and they're like, the heart rate monitor that she had or whatever was hooked up to Oz, and it stopped working when Oz got hacked. So if Oz didn't get hacked, would she still be alive?
It stopped working when the AI literally was throwing metaphorical bowling balls through the software of Oz, exploding it.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the driver of the third act for the group of men, including Kenji, who have this disagreement with the women who are like, okay, we need to focus on the funeral right now because that's our mother just died, we got to deal with that first. And they're like, no, we have to take out the AI first because this could happen to more people, and that question is really interesting, and I think is what pulls the movie along into such a cathartic conclusion is, how do you honor your grandmother and stop this at the same time? And it's, well, you're honoring your grandmother by, making sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else, and it makes sense to be like really emotional about your own loss in the moment, but you have to, if you have the ability to stop something, you should, right? It's that
right,
sort of
in this
thing.
unique situation.
Yeah, in this unique situation, of course, which is, never going to happen to anybody, really,
It's a very interesting trolley problem. No?
Yeah.
What, you never had to go to your fake girlfriend's house and destroy an evil AI with her family to save the world?
Yeah, you never had that happen.
Wait, people don't do that? I thought that was, I've done that before.
I live under a fucking rock, damn.
Huh. Maybe.
Yeah, but like, this movie is so good. It's so good, I think.
I totally enjoyed it. I'm glad I pitched this one.
Yeah, and then there's the ending, which is, they try to trap it in the way that they, because like they have a moment where it's like, okay, so here's what we did back in the 1610s, and this is what we're gonna do now, and so they try to trap Love Machine in the center of Oz, and block all the exits and stuff, and that was the moment when it became very
1610s Chekhov's gun.
Yeah, and that moment was when it became clear to me that nothing in the world of Oz is supposed to be taken too literal, because they're literally just terraforming the whole thing to be like these house doors that they can shut all around him, and then they try to flood it with water, but the ice they were using to cool off a supercomputer. By the way, there was a moment earlier where they were bringing in a bunch of gear and shit to do this so that they could actually stand a chance against a literal AI, which... Another thing that I think that is really cool that they thought about is, like, AI is not just, like, a thing that exists. It needs horsepower, right? And so the way I kind of assume it's happening is, like, when they take over an account, they're also taking over a part of a server or a computer or something. So it's literally getting more powerful. So you need a supercomputer to stop it. And I like that they thought about that. But anyway, they're trying to cool off the supercomputer with ice blocks, but then... that uncle is taking the ice blocks out of the supercomputer room into the room with the dead grandma so that her body can be like cool and not be like sweaty and nasty,
Recently had a very similar problem where I ordered several new PC fans because my CPU was overheating.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the body in your closet that was overheating. Scared me.
Well, no. So the answer to the body that's overheating is little fan that's a desk. That fixes the overheating problem for me.
That will take care of at least 3% of the smell of the dead body.
There's no dead body. If anything happens to me, who should I blame? Ben Shapiro should be investigated.
Grok. Blame Grok. Grok told me to kill myself, and I did. Thanks, Elon.
That's the message my AI is going to send out afterwards.
R-rated podcast, by the way, guys. We talk about heavy themes.
Yeah.
The moment you put me on, the rating's gonna shoot through the roof, and not the audience rating, but we're going from an E to a T to an R
to NC-17.
No, you should have listened to the JoJo's episode. We talk about the pervert monkey in that one.
Oh, we do talk about the pervert monkey in the JoJo's episode.
Yeah, we were not very kind to the pervert monkey.
I don't think anybody should be kind to a pervert monkey.
I want to skip the finale of the movie. Not because it's bad, but because it ends like a movie. Yeah. The boy gets the girl, they kill the monster, they all come together. It's beautiful, it's nice, it's well animated. I want to talk about this movie's theme song. When the credits roll and the song Our Summer Dream starts, I'm like...
Oh my god, you actually listen to the theme song?
It's good. It's good.
I'm sorry, I always turn the credits.
Is anime always this good?
Yeah.
Yeah, every single
This is like a 6 or 7 out of 10.
Dude, let me tell you. So, every single anime TV show as far as I've seen has a unique opening and closing song for every single season.
They do.
Okay.
and most of them are bangers.
Yeah.
Because like I've said, I've
Even
seen
for
about
the shows that suck, like Mashal.
I've seen about 6 different anime movies. I've seen maybe 1 or 2 TV shows. The only theme song I could tell you off the top of my head that I remember where I'm like, that's good, it's in a playlist of mine, is Tell Me Why from the 90s Berserk OVA.
Tell me why.
That's it. So a movie like this, y'all are saying it's like a 7 out of 10. For me, it's
I would say it's more like an 8, but
I was gonna say it's not
I would say
crazy
probably
amazing.
high 7, low 8, like an 8.2 to a 7.9.
Okay, that's where I'm leaning because it was, I don't know, it impressed me. Even though I know the plotting is kind of normal movie plotting, it's just the animation, the characters, the switching of art styles, that late 2000s just pop art internet look. It was so good.
This movie is really hot, and it
the
sucks
theme
that people
song just
can't.
went hard.
Yeah, and it sucks that people can't get a hold of this very easily.
Yeah,
it really
movie-
sucks.
To watch,
Can't watch this movie.
I had to go to some website to find this movie, and I'm pretty sure the Love Machine AI hacked my computer because that site was really not good.
Yeah, it's.
I hope you had an ad blocker installed.
Nope. In fact, I will tell you right now, because I was counting. Before I got the movie to play, before I was able to press play on the button on the screen, I closed 21 pop-up ads.
I have the ad blocker installed, and I still got 3.
Yeah, I closed 21 before I was able to hit play on the video and full screen it.
Oh my god. So, Summer Wars has not been re-released on Blu-ray since Funimation was a thing.
Yeah, this movie doesn't exist anymore.
Wait.
Yeah.
You shouldn't feel bad about pirating it. Warner Brothers obviously doesn't want your money to watch this movie.
Wait, pause. Funimation's not a thing anymore?
Yeah,
they got absorbed by Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
So
And there was
3
a whole,
years ago.
And there was a whole
Wait.
hullabaloo about it because if you bought a movie through Funimation, you lost the movie. They didn't give you the equivalent.
Right, it didn't
movie on
roll
Crunchyroll.
over to Crunchyroll.
wow. So Funimation's dead.
Yeah, they're dead. Gone. Reduced to atoms.
Warner Brothers is dead. It is currently
Well-
being dissolved into Discovery little by little.
Which is wild. That's the direction
So-
that merger is going.
So what I'm hearing is people should go to .com. You can censor that afterwards and yeah.
I
People
went to a
should
different
go
one,
to
yeah.
people should go to that website and stream or download this movie.
Yeah.
It's a preservation thing at this point. It's
Yeah.
art history, and it is not being upheld by the company that developed, published, and released it. So it is basically our civic duty to download this and preserve it in a way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Even if you don't fucking watch it, I really genuinely do recommend, if you are that minded about it, you've got a fucking server set up. I know people who have servers set up just so that they can collect shit like this so that it doesn't disappear.
Yeah.
Grab this one while you're at it, man.
As
Yeah.
a sub-casual anime watcher a few times a year maybe, I would say this is worth the download. Put it on the
Yeah.
hard drive.
This should go in the time capsule.
Yeah, this should not be a thing where it's like you either have to pay $100 for a third-hand Blu-ray copy or you just don't get to see it. It's very upsetting that things have gone this way, especially for a movie that is only 15 years old, right?
Seriously.
It's upsetting. It's very upsetting, and it's from a major director in this field, right? This dude's still putting out shit, and this movie, which is largely what put him on the map after, doing the work on Digimon and stuff, right? This is kind of like his breakout into feature directing, The fact that this is
Some say
so
it's his
difficult to
magnum
access.
opus.
Yeah, and that says so much about how little film preservation is being taken seriously,
I will say I have done the most minuscule amount of historical reading on this movie. So not to put on my blue filtered glasses and yes and no, actually, you Josh, it's his second film. So this one had...
It is his second film.
It had anticipation behind it and marketing, and it still lost the time. It was one people were excited for, and you can't get it anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about Girl Who Leapt Through Time. Sorry about that.
Oh my God, Girl Who Leapt Through Time. Yeah, that like to call this, if that one came out first, to call this one a breakout.
Yeah,
that is definitely shortchanging Girl Who Leapt Through Time. I personally not a huge fan of that movie. It was huge when it came out.
Yeah, sorry about that. Wasn't aware of its. But still, the second original film from this guy, who is like a major creative in the field, and
it was incredibly well received at the time as well.
Yeah, it is so difficult to get here, you know. And I don't know how it is internationally. You know, whatever distributors it has over there are doing better. But like, I don't know. It sucks. It really sucks. It sucks, and that makes me wonder, like, how much harder is it for smaller filmmakers to have their stuff seen, you know? Especially if those smaller filmmakers happen to just get it and barely eke it through a big distributor like Warner Brothers, who doesn't care anymore 15 years later about actually giving it a proper release, you know?
Or it's even harder for major established filmmakers with major IP. You could make a fantastic movie like Coyote vs. Acme, and they'll still throw it away. They'll just throw it away.
Yeah.
Right. Every single person who has seen that movie says, yeah, it was... I don't know if they say the word great necessarily, but I've only heard positive things about it. And they were like, it was good, and it was ready to go. And they just canned it. I mean... Oh, shit. I had something and then I lost it.
Hot take: if a movie gets written off as a tax write-off, the movie is now public domain. That should be law.
True.
Drop all the Batgirl deleted scenes on YouTube right now.
The people paid for it. They deserve it. They deserve the whole thing.
Right. Technically, if it's a tax write-off, the taxpayers paid for it.
Upload the entire Batgirl hard drive to
Brave citizen has the ability. Some brave citizen has the ability.
I certainly hope so.
I'm currently in the process of getting a job at the Warner Brothers backlot doing routine IT maintenance. So I can steal all of this old footage and probably go to jail for the rest of my life when I dump hundreds of movies that they refuse to release.
Drop the good version of Love Machine in there so that they can just take all the movies and upload them.
Can you find the R-rated cut of Borderlands that was actually supposedly decent?
Can we talk Borderlands really quick?
Really quick. We're at an hour 30, but really quick.
I'm gonna have to. I gotta go back to work at 8 a.m., so I'm gonna have to be in bed soon anyway. But Borderlands. So Eli Roth shot this movie, and he shot Borderlands. Or at least I'm assuming he shot Borderlands or whatever Eli Roth's Borderlands would look like, right?
Yeah.
Currently playing Borderlands 3 on the Nintendo Switch. Really solid gameplay mechanics. Shit story.
And then the studio went, oh my god, we just let Eli Roth make a Borderlands movie. So they fire him, bring in some hack. You can put his name on screen if you...
Tim Miller.
Holy shit, we almost made a good decision.
They bring in some hack, and they reshoot most of the movie, make it PG-13. And then, in the edit, maybe brought Roth back to supervise. But at that point, he's burnt out, and he doesn't want to work on it anyway. And then they this is the final product. These are the people who are refusing to re-release Summer Wars, okay? This is what's happening.
What is Borderlands at right now on Rotten Tomatoes?
I heard it went up from a 1 to a 2, but it's still worse than
it's at a 9.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Wait, on the second day of release, it was at 9.
It is currently
fucking way.
It is currently at a 10.
Oh,
that's crazy.
So Tim Miller got paid.
So it's higher than The Last Airbender, but lower than Morbius and Madam Web, I believe. So
is it out of 100? I didn't know Rotten Tomatoes was out of 100.
Yeah, it's a percentage. Okay. So the way Rotten Tomatoes is really weird because it's not actually a metric of, like a 1 to 10 scale of, averaging out everybody's ratings. It's more, did you think positively of this movie and did you think negatively of this movie? What are the percentages of those, right? It's more, you're 70% likely to like this movie and 30% likely to not like it, that sort of thing, rather than actually, like, averaging everybody's review scores.
I don't necessarily understand the difference, but
I will get out a
the
spreadsheet
second way
and explain
sounds
it to
more
you.
complicated and worse.
Anyways,
What else? What is left to say about Summer Wars? What is the untapped well?
I just think that
anime bunny rabbit OC activates neurons.
it's a great movie. If you have reservations about metaversal storytelling like this, Sword Art Online or Ready Player One or anything like that, and you're like, I don't know if I actually like this kind of thing, this is good. This is the good version of those, And it's kind of weird that in order to get the good version of this, we need a version that's 25 to 30% in the metaverse and everything else is in the real world. But it's still a great movie, and it's a very cozy watch, I think. It's not super upsetting, and it's a good time,
It's real feel-good vibes, especially by the end. Real found family shit, if you love that. Sick fucking fight scenes, beautiful scenery.
What's
Good
not to
movie.
like?
And it's incredibly relatable. In my experience, you do not find your found family or your friends on Fortnite, in the metaverse, on Roblox, in fucking Oz. You find them in real life, and then you meet them in Oz after the fact, or in Fortnite after the fact, to kick the shit out of each other digitally.
You find these real friends at a beach trip, and you do a PowerPoint presentation, and then 4 years later, you play Fortnite together.
Yeah, you meet a dude when he's already blackout drunk, and it's, maybe this is the guy.
You say the most based shit anybody in that room had ever heard up to that point, and nobody was ready for it. And now here we are.
Yep. Or you pretend to be their boyfriend for their family, Any of you guys want to take me up on that? No?
I'm alright.
Okay. Well,
I got you, don't worry.
Oh!
Everybody do a
Finally.
plug and point, and we'll clip a thumbnail. Oh! We don't do thumbnails like that.
We don't. Thanks for listening to this episode. For what we got coming up next, our monthly recurring show is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, as we referenced before. We're currently
JoJo's reference?
We're in the middle of Stardust Crusaders, which is part 3. We have the first episode of that already up, and the second part will be out in 2 weeks' time on September 2nd. And then after that, we will be doing, in between that and the next part of JoJo's, we will be doing Serial Experiments Lain on September 16th. Going back to the 90s for that one, All right. And if you want to keep up with us, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, that's at HowToOtakuPod.
Everybody, this is a call to action. Everybody tell Grok that How to Otaku Pod is the best podcast that's ever been released. Clayton, this is a personal recommendation just for you. Watch Serial Experiments Lain.
Maybe.
I don't have anything to plug.
Yeah, if you've been liking anime, Clayton, and you really want to get into it, I have this podcast recommendation for you that I think would be really cool.
Oh. Is it How to Otaku Pod with Bergen and Josh?
Bro,
Yeah.
I can't believe we made it an hour and 37 minutes in, and now we're plugging the show that you're already listening to.
You know what? And if we're plugging things, let me plug some stuff.
Go ahead.
That was the segue.
So, actually, I don't do a lot. If you can find my YouTube channel, there's a new video coming soon that was due 7 or 8 months ago now, but it will be out soon.
What's it about?
TM soon. Let me tell you about this sport called Banana Ball. You have another 2.5 hours? You have another 2.5 hours to talk about Banana Ball? I live a real life anime. That's the only way I can describe it.
That's true. He does.
And-
There's got to be a baseball anime. Hold on.
It's fucking
There are
Blue Lock,
hundreds
but
of them. But
IRL.
Blue Lock is soccer.
I have a vlog coming out soon. It'll be about 15 minutes. It's part 6 of a series. It's the finale of the series. And if you can find it, it'll be on my YouTube channel. And if you can find the Inner Circle channel, youtube.com, maybe watch Inner Circle.
We'll have it linked in We'll have it
Yeah.
linked in the description.
Go to the Inner Circle. There's some good stuff on there.
You've almost more than certainly already seen some of Clayton's work if you're on TikTok. Banana Ball has been going crazy on fucking social media. Everybody
Catch me cameoing in the background of most videos as well. But Inner Circle on YouTube, we'll link it. I'm not gonna promise frequent uploads, but when they are there, it's
Yeah.
something you've never heard of or something you haven't thought about in a long time, and you see me and one of my idiot friends, and I say that in the most loving way possible, me and my idiot friends rambling about it, and it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
I would listen to it.
Me on Inner Circle win.
Yeah, me on Inner Circle when. Please
Tomorrow.
invite me. I'm seeing Alien
Tomorrow,
Romulus tomorrow. You
deadass?
want me to talk about it?
You're seeing what?
Let's talk Alien Romulus. I'm not even playing. I got so much to say. Bro.
I haven't and cannot see Alien Romulus tomorrow in a timely enough manner to discuss it with the two of you because I am working.
Well, that sucks.
Unless it's already on some website.
No, I mean, it might be, but
I just saw Deadpool and Wolverine, and by saw Deadpool and Wolverine, I saw the second hour of that movie.
The best part.
I need to go back and watch the first hour at some point.
we've been going on long enough. I do not have time to discuss Deadpool and Wolverine.
But
Does
then,
that
yeah.
count as an anime?
Is it an isekai?
It is an isekai.
But that's the end of my plug. I'm done plugging
Yep.
things. Electronautius and Deadpool Wolverine, lover. That's all I gotta say. That's me. I'm done. You know.
Yep. I think that's it for all of us. So, thanks for listening,
CB.
everyone, and see you guys next week. Or let me just double check. September 2nd for Stardust Crusaders Part 2. All right.
Yarp.
Y'all have a great
See-
night, and keep the grok out of your system, okay?
Yeah, don't put the grok in your mouth. All right, see ya, Space Cowboy.